VR. You were pretty honest yesterday about how frustrating it was to get a third game canceled. You guys are, clearly just itching to get out on the field. How do you feel like your guys have responded so far this week?
Well, I think good. I think, we just got done with our Tuesday practice, and, we're pretty light in numbers right now, but I thought the attitude and the effort was good. And, we just got to keep hoping we can see if we can gain a few people back right now between contact tracing and illnesses and injuries. And it's a skeleton crew right now. So I thought our effort was good. I thought we had a good day's work, but we got a lot of new faces in there.
Does that change, what you can run from a practice standpoint? Do you have to simple things down when you're missing that many people?
Well, I think what it does is what you have to do is figure out how you're going to practice. You're not, you normally have, ones versus twos versus ones type of thing. It's just, you don't have enough bodies. So you've got to condense your practice. So I thought we did a good job adjusting to all that today. Just trying to, find a way to give the starting defense a great full speed look, and vice versa for the starting offense. So these are some of the obstacles that I'm sure a lot of people are working with.
Coach, based on the numbers we've seen, this is Kelly from Colorado, based on the numbers we've seen, is it fair to say that you're down like 16 players right now then, between, I think, the numbers that had come out, or 14 players, I guess, just from COVID and contact tracing, not to mention maybe injuries?
Yeah.
Is that about the right number, or is it even higher, significantly higher?
Probably higher than that overall. Obviously, one of your focuses is you got two focuses. One is your overall numbers, and then the other is your starters, how many starters you have. So, I'm not going to want to go into all that right now for obvious reasons, but suffice to say right now that we're on a skeleton crew, and we're going to have to, we're going to have some challenges, and we'll see how the week goes. It's only Tuesday. That can maybe get a little better or maybe get a little worse. I mean, I don't know. We just had our other test today, so we'll find out.
I was going to say, do you have some guys that are out now that can kind of test out and be cleared to play this week? When you talk about getting guys back?
No, we probably just have some illness guys that we may be able to get back, because obviously, you got injury guys, you've got the COVID guys, you've got the contact trace guys, and then you have the guys that I've been saying it right along. I mean, it's just normal, right? I mean, this time of year, who gets a stomach ache, who has, not to be graphic, but who has diarrhea, who has this, who has that.
Right.
I mean, those are normal things that still occur. It doesn't mean you have COVID. And, but yet, you're going to lose those guys immediately, minimally for the day, usually at least 2 days. So that's another category of missing bodies. Now, those are bodies that, provided they don't test positive, which some of them have already had it. So provided, you'd probably think if a guy's already had it, you're probably going to get him back. But then you miss your padded prep practice, and how ready are you? So it's like all that. It's all in a bag. Shake it up. I mean, it's I always say it's the luck of the draw a little bit. We seem to have been, our home games, we seem to be really healthy and ready to roll, and every time we get ready to go on a road, we just seem to be decimated in one way or the other. And it seems to have gone that way. It's the football gods.
You've been coaching a long time. Is this the most challenging season you've ever had when you factor in all these other things going on?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. I don't think there'd be a coach in America that probably wouldn't. Well, I mean, maybe there's a few teams that have been lucky enough. Again, that's just the luck of the draw, not to have been confronted with a lot of COVID or a lot of contact tracing or a lot of illness. So, this is a challenging year. I mean, it is what it is. We're one of a few teams that have played only 3 games right now. So there's not much you can do. I mean, really, we were the of the 3 games, 2 of them had nothing to do with us, right? we've only had, because of us, we've only had to cancel one game. And even there, I mean, we had enough numbers to go play.
Thanks.
I know you can't get into the specifics of, who's tested positive or anything like that from a strategic standpoint, but would you say the numbers are, right around where they were last week when the game got canceled?
I'd say hot. No, I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how you're asking me that question. No, not from a COVID standpoint. No, we're not. We're fine. It's a contact tracing issue along with maybe an illness issue. It's really contact tracing. You get contact trace, you're going for 2 weeks. You're not going for 2 days. You know what I'm saying? It's a 14-day quarantine. It's a pretty serious, lengthy thing when that happens. So I'd say that's creating the excessive numbers, and that's a byproduct still of a week ago. You don't just get by that. Like I said, there's only 14-day quarantines. There's nothing less than that. We've had since the beginning, we've had a lot of quarantines. Since game one, or I guess game one that we played, we've had a whole lot of quarantines. That's really, if you had to say what's really been our biggest obstacle, I'd say it's that.
Hey, Steve, this is Kyle Fredrickson with the Denver Post. I think we'll get a chance to talk to Patrick O'Brien here in a minute. I was just curious, over these past couple of weeks, what sort of leadership have you seen from him during a time when it seems like your starting quarterback should be a guy who could really kind of keep everyone with a level head?
Yeah, I mean, I think Pat, along with, the captains, along with the senior leadership, I mean, I think they've done a good job. I mean, there's nothing not to have a level head about. I mean, it's frustrating, but I mean, it's kind of what it is. I think Pat's going about his business every day and tried to prepare for every day and every game and every practice, like a lot of the guys have. And I just think the frustration level starts to set in. It's one thing you get canceled once, then you get canceled twice in a row, and then, hopefully you don't get canceled 3 times. I don't know that I've seen that one happen yet, but I call that an emotional roller coaster, and that can wear on you a little bit, but he's done a really good job, as have a bunch of guys. I mean, we had a great practice out there today. We were really light in numbers. Guys were pulling double duty, and and it was windy out there and pretty cool. But I mean, I'll tell you what, our guys, they practiced really hard today. So that tells you a little something about where that's at.
Coach, this is Kelly again from the Colorado. And you talk about guys pulling double duty. I presume that's like running with the 1s and 2s or something, not necessarily changing positions. Is that correct? Or do you have guys that are changing positions to help you out right now?
Yeah. No, it's mostly the 1s and 2s. It's that stuff. What happens, you get hit up front, both sides of the ball. That's where it usually surfaces. Although we've gotten hit in the back end too. So, it's all over the place. And I just hope, my goal is to have the best practices we can have with the guys we have and go out there with enough numbers so that we can, put our team on the field and go play. I mean, that's the way it's going to be. And, it is what it is. At that point, whoever we have, you'll be able to figure the rest out. It won't be that complicated.
Are there any changes in the testing timing this week to maybe make sure that contact tracing can get done sooner? I guess I understand there was a delay in Tuesday's results Wednesday, and that didn't help you any for last week.
Contact tracing was not an issue for us to play that game last week.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's not why we didn't play. We had the numbers to go play the game last week.
Right. Okay.
That was not an issue for us. And that was canceled on Wednesday around midday, and we were cleared to commence practice Saturday midday. So, yeah, contact tracing is a cumulative thing. You know what I mean? It always comes a little bit in the rears, and then it accumulates on you. And what happens is, they're gone for 14 days. I mean, there's not even any you don't see them anything. So You know, contact tracing catches up with you. But so what's happened is, you know, it just starts compounding, you know, so like anytime it's not just if you have a positive on your team, it could be that you have a player that reports a close contact, maybe with, you know, a friend, the girlfriend, the family member, and then they become contact traced for 14 weeks, right? So you know, there's a lot of ways that you can get contact traced. And that, you know, that kind of fluctuates around the country a little bit, and exactly those criterias and how that comes about. I'm not involved with it in any way, shape, or form, nor do I care to be. I just get notified. And, you know, so that's been a bit of a cumulative thing. And so, like, you know, if you pick up a couple of different contact traces, then you get a couple guys that are out with an illness, or then you get a guy that's dinged up. And as you can imagine, that can tally up on you pretty quickly. And it doesn't take much to go from whatever, 5 to 15 to 30. I think you've seen that around the country. It's kind of, it lights up on you pretty quick. So, you know, we're just all doing the best we can. We don't have an exorbitant amount of positive tests or anything else. I mean, we're just, you know, our byproduct is a byproduct of a lot of contact tracing.
Thanks.
Okay, guys, I appreciate it. Look forward to tomorrow.
Hey guys, I'm gonna go track down Pat and Marcus. Go guys, go ahead.
Hey, Pat, Eddie with the Reporter Herald. How you doing?
Doing good.
Just right off the bat with all this craziness, all these cancellations, just how tough is it for you to just stay focused and kind of maintain, you know, a leadership role, just being the quarterback of this team?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's just it's difficult situations. I mean, we kind of knew what we were getting into with this season, so you know, it's just kind of with everything, you just got to move forward, and you know that's been our mindset. So we're just moving on to San Diego State, and you know, if they allow us to play, they allow us to play. So whenever we're able to play a game, we'll be ready. So that's just kind of our mindset as a team right now, and you know, I'm just trying to drive that, you know, narrative with every guy on the team.
Just what kind of specifically have you said to guys to, you know, keep them focused, keep them motivated without even knowing when you're going to play necessarily?
Yeah, I mean, just can control what you can control. You know, we're not in control of if we're able to play or not. So, you know, we can't get too worked up about that. The only thing we can control is just how we come out to practice every single day and, you know, get the work done that we needed to do to give us a chance to win a football game. So that's just kind of my mentality and what I've been trying to tell the guys.
Patrick, San Diego State, they play that kind of a unique 3-3-5 type defensive look. Just what kind of challenge does that present for you? Obviously, you know, as a quarterback, that's a little bit different look. And how do you kind of go through your reads and everything with that?
Yeah, I think, you know, communication amongst every guy on the offense is going to be very important this week. You know, I have to be on the same page with the center and the offensive line, and, you know, the receivers really need to know what's going on too. You know, they do a lot of different things, but at the end of the day, they still play a base defense that, you know, every other team in the country runs. It's just the look that they give before the snap of the ball is a little different. So, you know, I think just with a lot of study of film and, you know, guys knowing what to do and, you know, preparing for every blitz that they can throw at us, you know, I think we'll be ready to go.
How strange is it you're going back to your home state for the second time this season to play a game and nobody can come see you? Is that just kind of awkward and kind of disappointing?
Yeah, I probably would have had like over 100 people at this game if it wasn't for COVID. You know, it's kind of disappointing. My parents are not even going to be in the state now. My sister has a swim meet, so they're doing that instead. So I guess I'm not important, but you know, it sucks. You know, I wish people could have came. I know a lot of friends and family would have been able to come, but you know, it's the times we're living in. You know, you just got to live with it and push through. So, you know, I'm excited to play at home. Always love being in California, so it's just another opportunity.
Thanks.
Hey, Patrick, Justin Michael of DNVR here. I know you guys had about half your games exactly half your games canceled, I suppose. So maybe haven't got to get all the reps that you're hoping for. But, you know, where do you feel the offense has improved most so far this season?
You know, I think it's just our mentality. You know, I think we're a lot more physical offensive team. I think we're a lot more physical team all around, in my opinion. You know, I don't know, offensively, I think, you know, we just have guys that make plays. We do really good in the play action game. You know, I think there's always areas to improve, but, you know, it's difficult without playing a game in a couple weeks. So, but, you know, I think every guy's really done their job. And, you know, as long as we continue to grow as an offense, I think it's going to be really difficult for teams to stop us because we're pretty multiple. So, you know, I think if we can just continue on that, we'll be fine.
How does Dante Wright compare to some of the other talented wide receivers that you've played with throughout your career? Obviously, you know, he's been a pretty big factor in the offense in the 2 games that he's played.
Yeah. You know, I played with a lot of good receivers at Nebraska and then obviously here at CSU. He's a little different in regards to that he's faster than anybody I've played with. So a lot of times I have to throw the ball a lot quicker with him. So that's one of the things. But, you know, I think he's really developed into, you know, he's made like some jump ball plays as well. You know, a lot of people will be unassuming with him just because he's not a super big player. But, you know, he can really jump up there and make those type of plays and take a ball away from a DB. So I think I've seen that jump from him. And, you know, the sky is the limit for him. I think, you know, he's got unlimited potential. So I'm just excited to play with him.
Probably have to be careful with what you can say, but, you know, been a difficult season for Nebraska, particularly at the quarterback position. I think there's 3 starting quarterbacks in the FBS right now that all transferred out of Nebraska. You know, have you been following that? Does it, you know, kind of make you smirk a little bit?
I mean, I don't want to talk bad about any other school, you know, but I'm happy for the guys. You know, I played with Tristan Jevy, who's at Oregon State. I'm happy he's doing well, and I played with Noah Vedra, who's at Rutgers, and you know, I'm happy for the guys. You know, I don't wish anything bad against Nebraska in any type of way, but you know, if another opportunity presented itself for a couple of my previous teammates, and you know they're exceeding at it, I'm happy for them. Anything else, guys?
Thanks, Patty.
Thanks.
I can pull the mask down.
Hey, Marcus, Justin Michael of DNVR here. How are you feeling from a health perspective? Got a little bit dinged up in that last game.
I'm feeling pretty good. I ended up just, messing on my shoulder a little bit. Definitely been working to come back. I've been working, practicing, and feeling great, feeling ready to go. So.
One of the things the coaches have really complimented you on this season is your ability to pass protect. Does it make it hard, with the shoulder injury, just because you might second guess yourself or maybe hesitate on a movement or something like that?
It doesn't really affect me more on pass protection. I kind of, at this point, I think I've kind of just been focusing a lot more on just showing that, you just got to step in there and deliver a blow, sort of, whatever they come with, be prepared. And I think it's a lot more difficult to say, if I get out of position, then it becomes a little questionable. But I think I've been working pretty hard to try and do my best to stay in a good position to keep myself from having to be worried about stuff like that.
Steve Addazio has had a lot of good things to say about Coach Brian White. What has he done to, help you improve your game so far this year?
He's done a lot. He's really been, focusing on having us pay attention to the details. I think a big portion of a lot of the things that go on is, sometimes you get to a certain point, and even right now, even though we haven't really played a whole lot, you get to a certain point where you come into practice and you sort of get into a flow of things, and you kind of just sort of get a little bit relaxed. And I think a big portion of what Coach White has been able to do with the running back group is trying to make us focus on just the little details of things that'll really help us in games. And it's more, making sure we pay attention to our pad level, pay attention to where our hands are when we're getting the ball, making sure we pay attention to, when we get into the open field, our decisions that we make with going at safeties and trying to, make people miss. And so he tries to really help us pay attention to those type of things, and then, try and make it so that it's more second nature to us to be able to be out there and be more confident in what we decide to do. So.
Marcus, you and Ajon obviously went to high school together. We're separated by a year, but just does that give you guys kind of an extra bond, all the Mullen guys on the team, and especially you two as the top two running backs on this team this year?
I'll be completely honest. All the Mullen guys, we kind of all have a bond, but me and Ajon specifically, me and him, we're brothers. Right now we're roommates and we live together. And the thing is, like, me and him have always been real close. I mean, as soon as he got in my freshman year, when we were in high school, I messaged him, I found out, he was on offense, knew he was a receiver. So then, I kind of just took him under my wing just to try and, help him out. And me and him, we just have this energy, and, we have a connection where, sometimes we'll be sitting there having a conversation and no one else will understand what we're talking about, but me and him know exactly what's going on. And so, me and him are, we like to call ourselves, in high school, everybody called us the Dread Bros, but right now we really truly are brothers. And that right there is the only thing I can really say. I think the bond that me and him have is just, is lifelong. So.
What can you say about the way he has developed as a running back? Obviously, it's a new position for him, at least at Colorado State, and kind of his progress. I presume you've helped him kind of figure some of the things out.
Yeah, his progress has been amazing. He definitely came in, his freshman year, and he had some struggles, and, he played receiver, and he was a great receiver. He's definitely a receiver, I feel like, if you put him back out there, he definitely could shine at receiver. But at the same time, Ajon has great ability, great strong legs. And I think the coaches really kind of noticed that. And as soon as he got into the room, he kind of picked up on it really quick. And the things that I kind of helped him with was just kind of noticing, me and Coach White kind of figured, like, he understands, I know some things, he knows some things. And so we work together. And at the same time, like, when it came to Ajon, since we're at home, we'll be talking, he'll ask me questions. I help him with plays. And then at the same time, he has his own, like I said, his own set of abilities and skills that he's been blessed with. So, he comes out and he has he's shown, great tenacity for everything. Because I mean, he's been put in some situations where, he originally started off just thinking, I'm just going to learn a few plays. I'm still going to be a receiver. And so as soon as it goes from, he's going to learn a few plays to next thing, he's learning, he has to learn the pass protections. Now he's learning all the plays. And so the next thing he's getting all the ones and twos, and he took it in stride. And, he came in, he got extra help with, Coach White came in. When he got home, he was asking me questions. So I think he really kind of took it under for himself, and he's been working to really make it his own position and really get comfortable with it. So I think right now he can, no limit to what he can do.
Being as close to him as you are, what can you say about just the way he kind of handled the death of his mother and kind of moving on from that? I mean, that's a really tough thing for anybody at any age, let alone somebody that's in college and young still.
For him, it was a real tough situation for him personally. I mean, just from what I like, just the time me and Ajon spend together, like every time, every day he called his mom. He would, be in contact with her. Whenever we hung out somewhere, as soon as we'd leave, he'd text her or call her and let her know that we're leaving or that he's on his way home or something. So, for him, when the whole thing kind of started and he kind of let me know, me and him kind of had our few couple moments where it was just it was silent moments where people kind of couldn't really tell, but it was me and him just kind of helping each other out. But he definitely handled it a lot different than I thought he would. And I mean, he worked through it really well. He still, I think, occasionally has his moments. And I think, that's what anybody would have. I mean, I know if the situation was flipped, I don't know what I would have done. But the way he's handled the situation is amazing. Just being able to witness it just from a standpoint of me being able to go home and see how he acts outside of football, how he acts inside of football. He definitely has taken it up to, do whatever he can to not only, do this for his family, but, he really has done a lot this year to really show out for his mom. And I think, he even makes, comments about where his mom is at during games. And so he definitely feels real, connected to her regardless of the situation. So
thanks.